Welcome to your fantasy football update for CBS Local Sports. I'm Jamie Eisenberg. That's Dave Richard. We're going to give you some starts and sits for Week 15. Hey, it's playoff time, and we got to win. Let's start with some quarterbacks to start. Dave, Matt Ryan, what do you like about him this week?
What do I like about him? What's not to like about him? He's at home. He's going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They're terrible. They've allowed multiple touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks each of the last 7 weeks. I like him whether Julio Jones plays or not. We know Julio didn't practice all week. That's kind of a downer, but I still think that Harry Douglas, Roddy White, they can step up for him. Don't discount Devin Hester either. I think Matt Ryan shines in Week 15.
I agree with you, and I think he's worlds better than Colin Kaepernick this week. What are you expecting from Kaepernick going into Seattle after he struggled in Oakland? He struggled at home. He struggles everywhere at this point in the season right now, and Kaepernick is not going to get the job done. Give me Johnny Manziel. Give me Kyle Orton. Give me Derek Anderson. A lot of quarterbacks I take over Kaepernick right now. He's a sit in the majority of leagues.
Now, what running backs do you look at? Because this is crucial now. And we're not going to talk about the obvious guys like Matt Forte, DeMarco Murray. Those guys are pretty obvious. But when you look at running backs, who's the best start for you?
Well, for me, it's not the best start, but it's certainly a slam dunk start, at least in the minds of what should be fantasy lineups, is LeGarrette Blount. Look, he's facing the Dolphins defense. What happened in Week 1? The Dolphins ran all over the Patriots. Bill Belichick remembers that. What's happened in the last 3 weeks for the Dolphins defense? Everybody runs all over them. 3 straight running backs have gotten double digits in fantasy points, and they can't stop anybody. So Blount is the main running back in New England. He will be the main running back this week. Start him.
One guy that I don't want a piece of is Doug Martin in Tampa Bay. I just don't want to trust him at this point. He's really been bad, and Carolina's run defense has actually gotten better. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown 3 straight weeks. I would sit him. I would sit Frank Gore. I like the Jets running backs way better than these guys. Chris Johnson, one of my favorites this week.
You also like Eagles receiver. I think that's doing very well since Mark Sanchez has taken over.
That would be Jordan Matthews, the rookie. And I liked him a lot when he came out, and certainly now he's been playing great. Mark Sanchez and him, they've got a thing going, and I think you're going to see them continue to connect against Dallas. They did on Thanksgiving. I think you can keep going. If you're looking for more than 10 fantasy points, Matthews will deliver.
The last time Mike Wallace faced the Patriots, he was good, scored a touchdown.
Very good.
But Darrelle Revis has changed things a little bit for the secondary. He's going to follow Mike Wallace around the field. At least that's the assumption. And the way Wallace has played of late and the way Revis has played of late, that's a matchup I want to avoid. So I think the Dolphins are going to be in trouble going into New England. I think Mike Wallace is a sit candidate, no better than a number 3 receiver in deeper leagues.
There is no position that's more frustrating, in my opinion, than tight end. And you've got Rob Gronkowski. He's a stud, and there's other studs that haven't done well. Let's think of a name of somebody that people can start with some confidence this week.
One of those is Larry Danell for me. You know, you look at the matchup for him, it's been great. The Redskins, they're terrible against tight ends. You've seen the last 2 weeks, Colby Fleener, Jared Cook, these guys have become superstars facing this defense. And the last time Danell faced the Redskins, he had a 3-touchdown game. So the targets have been there for Danell. The production hasn't been there, but this is one of those get-right weeks, and I think he's a must-start tight end option.
Now, Jason Witten's a guy that people drafted to be their regular starter, and he's underwhelmed lately, and I think that continues going up against Philadelphia in Week 15. The Eagles have actually been very good against tight ends for most of the season. They were worried about Witten destroying them on Thanksgiving. Luckily for them, Tony Romo didn't have his best game. I think Romo will play better this week, but I don't think Jason Witten's going to end up doing very well. I think the receivers will play better for Dallas. I'm with you on Larry Danell. I think he's good. I think the Colts tight ends are both good. A lot of interesting tight ends this week.
A lot of interesting players, and hopefully your fantasy playoffs are going well. This has been your fantasy football update for CBS Local Sports.